Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking one of the most polarizing companies on the planet, Tesla. It's really a tale of two Teslas, isn't it? There's the car company we all see on the roads today, and then there's the AI-driven dream it's promising for tomorrow.
And this quote right here just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the dilemma we're talking about. Are you investing in what Tesla is or what it claims it's going to be? And that, my friends, is the multi-billion-dollar question hanging over everything.
So, to really get our heads around this, I think the best place to start is to see how Tesla talks about itself. Let's look at their official story. We're going to dig into their official 10K filing. Now, if you're not familiar, don't worry. Just think of it as the company's official, legally binding story that it tells to investors and the government. This isn't a flashy ad. This is them, in their own words, defining their business.
And boom, right out of the gate, look at this. The very first thing they want you to know isn't about cars, it's not about batteries, it's about bringing AI into the real world. That is such a deliberate choice, and it frames everything else that follows.
So, on paper, the business is broken down into these two main parts. You've got the automotive division, the cars, the services like FSD, and that's the giant in the room for sure. And then you have the energy side. But keep that AI-first mission in your head, because it really hangs over everything.
Okay, so that's the story they're telling. But when you shift from that vision to the cold, hard numbers of recent reality, well, the picture gets a whole lot different. And this is where things get really, really interesting.
So this number, 418,227, that was the big headline number for vehicle deliveries in their latest report. And on its own, that sounds like a ton of cars, right? But as you're about to see, context is everything here.
Because here's the real story behind that number. It was actually a 16% drop compared to the same time last year. And we're not talking about a little dip here. That's a major slowdown in their main business. It's happening because, the EV market is getting crowded. Subsidies are changing. It's just a tougher world out there for them.
And of course, when you sell fewer cars, it hits the bottom line. You can see it right here, that automotive revenue, which is the engine of the whole company, took an 11% hit year over year in that same quarter.
But here's a really fascinating twist in the story. While that massive car business is struggling, look at the much smaller energy division. It's actually surging, up 25%. This proves there's more to Tesla than just cars. But let's be real, that growth isn't nearly big enough right now to fill the hole left by the automotive decline.
All right, so this brings us right back to the central puzzle, right? How on earth can a company justify its massive valuation when its main business is actually shrinking? The answer, as you might have guessed, isn't about today. It's all about the future.
Exactly. The people who are still bullish on Tesla, they are not looking at today's car sales. They're betting on a future that looks completely different. They are buying into that AI story, the one from the very first sentence of their own 10K.
And that future vision really rests on three gigantic, kind of mind-blowing pillars. First, you have the robotaxi idea, turning every Tesla into an autonomous vehicle that makes you money while you sleep. Second, there's Optimus, the humanoid robot that could totally change manufacturing and, well, everything. And third, using AI to make our power grids way smarter. I mean, these are bets that are worlds away from just building and selling a car.
So you have this huge gap, right, between the reality of today's car sales and the promise of this robotic future. And that gap has created an absolute battleground on Wall Street among the financial experts who do this for a living.
I mean, just look at this. It's wild. You take 33 analysts who cover this stock. 16 of them are screaming buy. 10 are on the fence saying hold on a minute. And 7 are saying get out now. You just don't see this kind of split on a major company. There is zero consensus.
If you thought that was crazy, look at the price targets. This is where it gets absolutely insane. You've got experts who think the stock is worth maybe $25 and others who think it's going to $600. That's not just a small disagreement, that's a fundamentally different view of what this company even is.
Okay, so after all that, what's the takeaway? What does this massive divide between the present and the future, between the numbers and the narrative, really mean for all of us?
At the end of the day, it really boils down to one thing. The company is being valued on a promise. I heard one analyst call it a show-me story, and I think that's perfect. The narrative has been set. Now, they have to actually show the world and their investors that they can deliver on that robotic future.
And so that leaves us with the big final question.
Can this incredible vision of robotaxis and Optimus bots justify the shaky reality of declining car sales today? The answer? Well, it's not just going to decide the fate of a company. It could literally shape the future of how we work and how we get around.